welcome to DGI Podcast. I'm Lisa, the Junior Advisor at GIZ, and I'm also your host for today's podcast. So let's welcome our guest. Hi.
Hi, Lisa.
Nice to see you. And before we actually start the podcast, I would like you to introduce yourself a bit to our audience since you're quite new here.
Yeah. Sure. Thanks, Lisa, for having me. I'm Jonas. I work with GIZ and I lead the DGI program. DGI, also the name of the podcast, so probably has something to do with that.
Hey, hi, Lisa. Thank you for having me today. My name is Chermeng. I work as a Senior Program Manager at Impact Hub Phnom Penh. And I've been with the team for almost 3 years now, working on a lot of programs to support startup and entrepreneurs in the sustainability space in Cambodia.
Yes, awesome. Thank you so much. So I feel like GIZ, sometimes when I talk to other people, they might not heard about us yet. So maybe you can explain a bit more of GIZ, Jonas?
Sure. GIZ is an organization of the German Development Corporation. We've been active in Cambodia for the last 30 years, since 1994. What we do here is we implement development projects. It can be on agriculture, on climate, on health, on a lot of different topics. And one of the latest programs that we added early this year is the DGI program, where we support startups.
Perfect. Main, just in case people haven't heard of Impact Hub yet, can you tell us a bit more on that?
Right. I do believe that a lot of people might not have heard of Impact Hub. So I think in simple term, Impact Hub is a social ventures builder that we basically wants to help business grow in the countries. And we actually have been in Cambodia for more than almost 10 years now. And Impact Hub itself is actually a global network that we exist in. There's around 120 of us all over the world. So we're basically locally globally connected and locally rooted. And what we do is that we inspire, we connect, we support, we provide a lot of financial and technical support in order to help business in Cambodia grow. Because we believe that when we're able to build this sort of mindsets and have all the tools ready for the business, they can turn some interesting ideas into very impactful business that can help the country.
Okay, thank you for that one. So as you know, the podcast is called DGI, but people might not know what DGI is yet. So Jonas, can you explain a bit more as the project lead?
Yeah, sure. DGI is a program that is supported by the European Union and by Germany. And it's a global program. So it is implemented here in Cambodia, but also in Indonesia, for example, in countries in Africa and in South America. The general goal of the program is to support the countries in the twin transition. So combining digital and green technology.
So is the twin transition is something like very popular in Europe, or is like something new too?
It is a concept I think that has been developed a couple of years ago already. It is something that focuses on the development of the world as it is right now. We have at least two major transitions that we're going through, right? One is the digital transformation, now with even the latest step with AI a lot. But also we have this large challenge, this huge problem of the climate change. And environmental problems in the world. So the idea behind Twin Transition is to put these challenges together and use the digital transformation in order to address the challenges of the climate transition, basically.
Okay, so DGI is a fairly new project, you would say, here in Cambodia?
Here in Cambodia, we've started only early this year, so 2025, yes.
Can you explain a bit more what kind of activities are currently ongoing in Cambodia?
Yes, sure. So we have one part of the program here in Cambodia that we also do together with Chermeng and Impact Hub. That's the accelerator part of DGI, where we focus on supporting startups here in Cambodia that use digital technology to have a positive environmental impact. So we have 7 startups that on the day-to-day basis, Impact Hub is working with very detailed. I think Chermeng can maybe explain a little bit more about that later. And the goal is basically to scale these startups, to support them in getting funding so that they can grow their impact. So if they have a positive impact already now, and then they grow and scale their impact, the impact will grow as well. That is the idea behind that. And then the second part that we focus on is bringing together stakeholders from the startup ecosystem, not only of Cambodia, but also other countries in the region. So we organize exchanges between stakeholders from Cambodia, from Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, Philippines, and so on, to share experiences and to discuss ways of jointly developing this kind of sustainable digital innovation ecosystem. That's mainly what we do.
Yeah, okay, that's good. I think Bong Chermeng, for you, since Jonas mentioned that Impact Hub also play a role in the activities implemented here in Cambodia, can you explain a bit more what Impact Hub role is in the DGI and also what activities are currently ongoing?
Right. Thank you, Lisa, for the question. I think at Impact Hub, our goal is to really run a legitimate accelerator that we feel like not only address the needs of the ventures, but also we are able to provide the tools and the resources and the change in mindset and structures in order to really help this business be able to have the potential to go on to secure investment in the future. And I think for us, we're very happy and grateful that we have had our partners at the Digital Transformation Center who believe in our visions and who have allowed us to really craft a program that we felt like is a accumulation of all the experience that Impact Hub have had in helping startup in the country in the last 10 years to really build something that is super practical and can really help the business grow. And I would say that I think we always hear these ideas of this techs being the big things, right? So what is unique about the DGI program is that it's a blend of the techs and the greens. So we really are looking at business that really are working on the tech components and also have the green component to really back it up, to really say that they are a business that is helping to make a difference in the environmental aspects of the country. So we have, as Jonas said, the 7 ventures that we have had selected, and you can see that the range of the sector is very diverse. You have people working on renewable energy, we have people working on sustainable fashions, food waste, e-waste. So it's sort of a testament to show that any type of business can really have a big impact on the countries in different ways, in different sector. And I think what unique again about our approach in the DGIx is that it's very multifaceted. It's like we focus on not just so basically our approach is not just helping to make the CEO and the co-founder stronger, but we really want to build the strength of the business. So if you can see that we have a lot of different activity tracks that we have done with all of these ventures to really build the foundation of the business upward. And in the programs itself, we believe in the value of a mentorship. So you can see that in the programs itself, each of the ventures have been paired with a very expert. It's a very like the expert basically have a lot of knowledge and have had experience running either helping other business or they have run their own business before. So this kind of practical knowledge sharing, hand-holding approach is something that we have offered. And in the group learnings as well, in the sprint series, we have been very intentional about the types of module that we have selected and how we communicate and provide that training to the venture to really help make sure that they're not only being introduced to the concepts, but they also are able to take this and work further with the mentor to transfer it into very practical action step to really scale their business further.
Okay. I believe it's like not a very easy thing to train people, because the ventures, I believe it's at very different levels. Some are very, they just started their prototype and some others already have like hundreds of staff already. So, I mean, for you who have worked with the ventures and have observed them, I think right now we can just focus on the GIX venture for now. What kind of challenges do you see when they're at like the beginner stage? And what kind of other challenges you see when they're on like a much bigger stage?
Maybe from the beginner stage, I think you always have the problem of, okay, who do you actually have in the founding team, right? If you start something new, you have to look that maybe often you start something by yourself and you have a specific kind of experience. So I think it's always good to see if you can find somebody who can work with you, who can complement your experience. If you have somebody who is very technical, for example, you need maybe somebody who has experience in selling, in marketing, in building relationships, and so on. So I think this is something that a lot of startups struggle with in the beginning.
True.
I think similarly, I would say being able to build a founding team is really crucial. Having other people who share the same visions with you and have the diverse expertise to really bring to the table would be super helpful to build a team around that. But I think we know that's not always the case. So I think in a lot of these sort of supporting program like DGIx, you can see that the roles of expert really come into play as this sort of temporary partner to be working with the business in this certain amount of time during the program timeline to really help ask the hard question, to really like bring out the foundations, and then even them as the mentor, they can bring in, and then they can stretch their network to bring in other co-founder who can potentially ended up partnering with the business itself. So again, having a founding team is good, but if that's not the case, I would say that joining all of these startup support programs and be able to be hooked up with, be connected to another mentor can really go a long way in just getting you a little bit further.
Okay, yeah. So that was more on like the beginner stage level, I would say. But what if, example, if I have, like lots of staff to manage, I already have like good ideas, but in turns, it's very difficult for me to like find investment or find someone to help take my business to another level. What is this something that in Cambodia we can see it happening too, or is it just like my imaginary situation?
I can start maybe. It's difficult for sure, and it's something that Chermeng also said is a focus of the program, right? Because we see that it is very difficult for startups in Cambodia to actually receive investment. I think there are a couple of reasons for that. We can go through them, but generally, startups here are either bootstrapping, so they are just trying to grab by themselves and trying without any investment, or they get investment from friends and family if they can, but it's very rare for them to get investment from angel investors or VC funds and so on. It's quite difficult. Yeah.
Is it because we lack VC or angel investor in Cambodia here, or what do you think?
I think from our experience at Impact Hub, I think I would say the DGI program is actually our first time venturing into supporting on investment piece. We're very much on capacity building so far. And we noticed that I would say the landscapes of what investment look like in other countries around the world might very much look different in Cambodia. So when we're looking at VC, that I think the perspective of like our startup in Cambodia of what VC might look like will be slightly different. So that's why I would say we're really trying to understand what the landscapes of investment could be in the country, whether it's a local investor or someone coming in to really make it make sense, right? And I think startup still have a long ways to go to say, I mean, most of them would say, yes, I would definitely benefit from investment, but what does it take? What are the action steps that needs to be done? What are the documents that need to be put in place in order for an investor to look at you and to be compelling in order to move forward into receiving investment? That is the bigger story that we really need to look at. Not only what the landscape looks like, but also the capacity and the strength of all of our local startup to be able to meet that demand.
I think that's kind of the charming part for DGIx, especially, at least for me, because we really kind of look into what the businesses are struggling with, and we tailored the support for them specifically. And for me, I feel like it's very beneficial for all the startup. That's why I think one of the reasons why the DGI podcast also happened, because we wanted to share the knowledge with a bigger audience, basically like the startups who are struggling and who are really, really trying to understand a bit more on the landscape in Cambodia here, or maybe they have an issues and they just wanted someone to relate to. So it's really what we were looking to do. And I mean, for you, especially when it comes to different challenges that this startup might face, what kind of topics do you think it might be beneficial for them to learn through our podcast?
I think you mentioned already a lot of it. So I think the podcast, the idea, and I think it will be very different than it is right now in the first episode where we just introduced the podcast and the program a little bit. But I think really coming up then from the first episode that we're going to publish, I think the idea is really to have people here from Cambodia with experience in Cambodia that have experience investing, starting their own startups and so on. So sharing these ideas and this knowledge with the audience, I think can help, especially on the question of how do you scale, how do you get investment and so on. I think that's something that the startups and everybody watching can look forward to.
Yeah. What about me?
I think for me, I think in the DGI programs, we're very fortunate to have had 7 businesses that we're able to support. I know that that seems very exclusively for them. It's like the curriculum and all of the opportunity and the benefit that we have given has more or less centered around them. So I would say that what I want as a startup is maybe we're hoping to use all of these modules and trainings that we have given and more or less transfer that into like a podcast in order to really share some of these knowledge to a bigger audience, because I know that there are so many other startups that for us at Impact Hub, we would love to help as much as possible, but due to the restriction in the programs, we can only help a certain amount of people. So in a way, if we're able to transfer all of these knowledge of what does it really take to be ready for investment, how do you support a team, how do you scale your business internally, building up the strengths and stuff, if we're able to have experts or at least like the startups or business that have gone through this process before to really share what would be their tips, what be their expertise, not always like the success, but also the failures and how you recover from that. That would be something that's really good for other to really listen to and resonate and feel like, oh, okay, what I'm going through might not be as complicated as it is. And there is like help that can be given to me.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what our podcast aims to do as well. At least, I mean, if I were to ask myself the same question, if I wanted to open, I don't know, like a restaurant or become a product, engineering a product, I have like great ideas, but I don't know where to start. So maybe I can also use this opportunity to reach to people who have a lot of beautiful ideas and you wanted to know where to start, what to do next, the next steps. We would like to give the support to you all. And I think that's really it for me today. And thank you so much for joining and sharing your perspective and helping me introducing DGI to our audience. So thank you so much for today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lisa, for having us.
Thank you. And if you would like to learn more about DGI Podcast and also would like to improve your startup or just learning about experiences about investment, feel free to tune in our DGI Podcast. Thank you so much, and I will see you later. Bye.